Help support AMTV by becoming a patron, an AMTV staff member, and following us over on Twitter. Hi there guys, it's Adam Martin here, and welcome back to another instalment of the Now Review. And again, one of the many releases happening in November 2022 of the Now series is a rather bizarre one for me, and I think a lot of people were shocked when this was announced as well, but we've got a vinyl-only review for you today. Yes, that's right, only a vinyl edition, no CDs here. Well, not technically, not recently. So join me as we will look at the 3 LP set that is known as Now That's What I Call Rock. So some of you might be wondering, this looks awfully familiar, and you'd be right, because Now That's What I Call Rock, I mean, again, it's not a strange concept for the Now series. They released one back in, when was it, 2014-15, and we've had all sorts. We've had classic rock, driving rock, rock ballads, dad rock, because remember dad rock for Father's Day? So yeah, no stranger to rock here, and in 2021, actually, just a year ago, we had another re-release, and it was this one with this cover. You know, this cover's exactly the same. You've got the sort of like, what font is that? I don't know, like the AC/DC style font or something like that. You know, it's smashing into the ground, there's lava everywhere, because rock is edgy and hardcore and all this sort of stuff, you know. And for whatever reason, Now in their infinite wisdom decided, as well as the many other releases they've got coming out in November, they said, hey, rock, we're going to do that, but we're going to do it as a 3 vinyl LP set. And amongst the people in the Now community, there was a lot of like what? I mean, we're always grateful for new Now releases, but this one just seemed very bizarre. Like, why not release this back in 2021 with the CD version? But anyway. So the cover's the same, looks pretty cool, but let's get into the meat and potatoes. So which of the songs from Now Rock did they put on this vinyl edition? So let's look at that all-important track list. Okay, so on LP1, side A, we're kicking off with Queen and We Will Rock You, which, yeah, that makes sense. That is the rock song, everyone knows that one. Def Leppard with Animal, Bon Jovi with You Give Love a Bad Name, Deep Purple with Smoke on the Water, that, classic guitar riff, Status Quo with Rockin' All Over the World, Free and All Right Now, and Lynyrd Skynyrd with Sweet Home Alabama. All artist names I recognise here. I'm not as familiar with Animal by Def Leppard, but yeah, a decent start, 7 tracks there. LP1 side B kicks off with Paul McCartney and Wings with Jet, then Slade and Come On Feel the Noise, Elton John with Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting, Golden Earring with Radar Love, not too familiar with that one, The Runaways with Cherry Bomb, nice tune that, Bachman Turner Overdrive with You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, and finishing with Thin Lizzy and the Boys Are Back in Town again. Lots of classic rock tunes there, another 7 tracks, that's 14 tracks on LP1. LP2 kicks off with Meatloaf, the recently deceased Meatloaf and Bat Out of Hell, probably his most well-known song, Emerson, Lake and Palmer with Fanfare for the Common Man, Electric Light Orchestra with Don't Bring Me Down, Jerry Rafferty and Baker Street, lovely track that is, Rainbow and Since You've Been Gone, and Patti Smith Group with Because the Night. So that's 6 tracks there, again, lots of recognisable tunes. And side B of LP2 has U2 with Where the Streets Have No Name even, Survivor with Eye of the Tiger from Rocky 3, Europe and the Final Countdown, big tune, Pat Benatar with Love is a Battlefield, ZZ Top with Gimme All Your Loving, Pretenders with Middle of the Road, and Ram Jam with Black Betty. So that's another 7 tracks there, so that's 13 on LP2, taking our total to 27. And on LP3 we start with Fleetwood Mac and Don't Stop. Maybe not the song I would have chosen to represent them, but there you go. Following by another Don't Stop, we've got Journey and Don't Stop Believing, Boston with More Than a Feeling, Blue Oyster Cult with Don't Fear the Reaper, love that track, Kansas with Carry On Wayward Son, Foreigner with Cold as Ice, and Toto with Hold the Line. Not Africa? I guess Hold the Line is a bit more rocky, you could say. And side B of LP3, we've got the Rolling Stones with Start Me Up, The Who with Baba O'Reilly, Motorhead with Ace of Spades, Judas Priest and Living After Midnight, Alice Cooper with Poison, Cher with I Could Turn Back Time. Is that rock? Is it, mate? I don't know. And Bonnie Tyler with Total Eclipse of the Heart, which I guess straddles rock and pop a bit, I suppose. So that's another 14 tracks on LP3, which means, dear viewer, across 3 LPs you are treated to 41 tracks. And before we talk more about the track list, let's just have a look at one of these vinyl discs. Now, normally, with these vinyl releases now, has been doing like with the yearbooks, or the Christmas album, or like punk and new wave, electronic, all that sort of stuff, or, well, maybe not electronic, but basically, with a lot of the special edition vinyl releases, the vinyl has been coloured, either to match what the cover looks like, or just the theme. This one is just straight black vinyl. And, you know, I get it. It might just be cheaper to do that, or maybe there isn't a colour as associated with rock apart from the standard black vinyl. But I don't know. You could have, like, look at this cover. You could have maybe made that orange or, like, yellow or something. It just seems a shame that when you're already questioning this album's existence, like, why does this need to exist? The fact that you haven't even got different coloured vinyl from the norm to entice you feels, I'm not going to lie, it feels a little bit disappointing. But anyway, the track list, well, compared to what's on the Now Rock of 2021, yeah, it is collating a lot of the biggest tracks on there, you know, tracks that everyone knows from acts like Queen, Bon Jovi, etc. You know, a lot of those tracks I went through, those 41 tracks, I was very familiar with. So, you know, to be fair, if I want a rock compilation on vinyl specifically that has a lot of those big tunes, this one is here, but I can just, as good as those tunes are, I just think not a lot of people outside of like now collectors who grab everything, I don't really see a lot of people getting this because, I mean, the CD's more accessible or streaming it or whatever. And, you know, like a lot of these 3LPs, this retails for a cool £30, you know, so it's not yes, you could argue that's value for money, as I've said before, you know, it's £10 per vinyl disc, so 41 tracks on vinyl for 30 quid. Some would say that's a good deal, some would say that's a rip-off, but I think for that price, some people are still saying that this is not necessarily Now's best move, considering that it's been a year since this version of Now Rock came out on CD with a whole lot more tracks and, you know, a third of the price, mind you, and probably even cheaper now after a year. It just seemed baffling that after this year's delay they put out this vinyl version, which, yes, has some cracking songs, absolutely, but why they didn't do it at the time is anyone's guess. I think going forward, if Now's going to keep releasing special vinyl outside of the yearbooks, I think they should ideally do it, if they can, in time with the CD versions of these releases, because, you know, it just, I don't know, I'd argue there's a bit more incentive, even amongst collectors, to grab it, you know, alongside something else. But yeah, I could, honestly, out of all the special vinyl releases we've had over the last few years, I'd argue that this one probably is one of the most pointless. But if you are interested, you know, if you want this on vinyl, if you like your rock and stuff, it's available in all the usual places, Now's website, or HMV, Amazon. I don't think the supermarkets will stack this, but you never know. But yeah, £30, so it's up to you whether you think it's worth your money. But that's all for this installment of the Now Review. Thank you very much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed it, please leave a like on this video, and let me know in the comments, are you going to grab Now Rock, or do you think like me, do you think this is a bit of a waste of time? Are you going to pass on it? Also, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. We'd love to have you aboard. I've been Adam Martin from AMTV. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Thank you to our patrons for helping to support the show, and a special thank you to Macra, Hooks Media, Ben Freeman, Ethan Carberry-Holt, Bruce Danton, The Broken Kitsumanoid, Tobos Krotz, and Polsky Liz, our AMTV staff members.